Hey guys, today I am here to show you 3 super easy recipes that I like to use when I'm meal prepping for the week. As many of you know, I am in graduate school right now and I'm doing clinical placement, which means I need to have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner ready to go as soon as I wake up and get out of the house by 8 a.m. These are 3 super easy meals that I really love, that are really easy to make. They don't take more than 20-30 minutes tops, and they taste good. It's really hard to find, I feel like, recipes that you can meal prep ahead of time. So these are some really great ways, so I just wanted to share them with you guys. So let's get right into them.
I'm caught in an action, I can't rewind, and in my head I'm screaming, but out of my mind I'm still too young to feel this way.
So the first thing I'm going to make is this matzo ball soup. It is so amazing. The directions are on the back. I had it once, I just wanted to make it. And I buy the reduced sodium one because, I don't know, why not? But it is just like chicken noodle soup. So it comes with 2 packages. One is the soup mix and the other is the mix that makes the little balls. And they're labeled here. You can see it says soup mix part 2. So that's the base of the soup. First, I just take the chicken broth, again, low sodium, and I fill it up about a cup and a half. The recipe calls for 10 cups of water, so here I just pour it in, and I've combined it with the chicken broth. I usually will put sometimes onions and carrots and celery, but I just didn't have that at the time. So now I'm just using what I have around the house. I have some leftover rotisserie chicken, some spinach. I like to use these little chicken bouillons. They're in Portuguese, but it's the same thing. You can just get the chicken bouillon. I like to just add it to more flavor, but these are just some things I've had around the house. So I'm just putting what I have instead. Okay, so a little trick I use is to put a little bit of chicken broth at the bottom and just mush up the bouillon in there so that when you put it in, you just know it's completely dissolved. So here I am rolling out the balls to make the matzo balls. Just following the directions on the back, I've added 2 eggs and some oil to this, and then you just stick it in the freezer for about 10 minutes and while you're getting your base to boil. I'm just rolling them into little balls because these will grow way bigger. Like it'll blow your mind how big these are going to get. So this is how tiny it is right now, and when I put them in the water, they've already started to grow. I have just added some scallions, some cilantro, and spinach, and like I said, these will grow much bigger even than this right here. So I'm just going to give it a good stir and let it simmer for a while and really make sure that the matzo balls have cooked thoroughly. These are just some of the common spices that I use. You'll see there's a lot throughout the video. The lemon pepper, the cayenne, onion powder, garlic powder. Just checking on these now, I've added some corn, I've added the chicken, I've added everything in. And you can see here compared to my hand how much these have really grown. So I just like to let it sit for a little while. I'm just showing you here how big they got and mixing it up every once in a while. So here it is, all complete. It looks so amazing. I'm literally like, my mouth is watering right now looking at these. It is so satisfying and good, especially with all the sickness going around. This is just the perfect meal to have, and it is so quick and easy to make as a meal prep. So here I've put them into containers, separated them out, and then I just let them cool and put them in the fridge. And that's it. Super easy. Okay, another one of the recipes I really like to make is this tandoori masala. I actually found it from one of the families I babysit for. They made this one night and it was so good I had to try it. So I'm going to make some tandoori chicken with some roasted potatoes that I'm just going to throw in the oven that are amazing. So this is one of my meals that I really like to have because there's so much flavor in here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is just set the oven to 400 degrees, baking. And then I bought these Nature's Promise little potatoes. I love these kind. I also like the small red ones. Those are really good too. But I just dice them up, and then I'm going to put them on this pan that I've lined with aluminum foil and paint some soft butter onto the top so that it doesn't stick. Here's the butter I use. I can't believe it's not butter light because it actually has no dairy in it and I cannot have dairy. So I just put like 3 tablespoons of butter on here and spread it around with my little, whatever this is called, so that when it goes into the oven, the butter will melt evenly. Of course, my little dog Riley is waiting for all the droppings. What are you doing? You waiting for the food? So to season my potatoes, I'm just gonna add, or I just melted some butter into a little glass container. Then I add cayenne because I love cayenne. We have paprika, onion powder, garlic powder. I love this lemon pepper seasoning combination, it's so good. And then some sazon, of course. So I'm just gonna mix it around, pour over the potatoes, put them on the pan and into the oven that's preheating right now. I've just cut up the chicken into little cubes and put them in the same bowl I had washed and cut the potatoes into. And then over here in the pan, I have just diced up half an onion and put some oil in. I also added some oil onto the potatoes in there just to help them brown a little bit more. But as the onions start to get translucent, I am going to add my seasoning to my chicken. Okay, and then it's going to sound a little weird, but we do add in some yogurt, some plain yogurt into it to kind of cool the spiciness of it. On the back it kind of says what you can add in. I am out of lemon juice, so sometimes I use lime, but I do use soy sauce, some yogurt, and the seasoning, and then I mix it all together, and then we'll throw it into the pan once these are done cooking. I've put my chicken into the pan, but the remaining sauce that's left, I just mix a little bit of water in and get all of the seasoning from around the edges. And then I like to make a little slurry to thicken the sauce, so I put cornstarch in it and then just throw it in and let it cook. Oh, it looks so good. Also, I did throw in a little lemon pepper seasoning garlic powder into it as well, just because I like those. When I'm home, I like to have this meal with these, I don't even know how to say it, so I'm not going to try, but they're so good. They're like these little breads. They're kind of like naan, I guess you could say, but a lot thinner, and you roll it up and basically eat it taco style, and it's amazing. So this is what it looked like. I just put them in the toaster because it's a lot easier, and then you roll them up. I like to slice onions and then put lemon juice over it and a little seasoning, and then put it on top, and then we put yogurt or sour cream on top to cool the heat again. It is so good. We had it the other night, and even my boyfriend likes it, so it's a win. But because I am meal prepping these, I'm not going to take those, so that's why I'm making the potatoes to go along with my meal. Let's check on those potatoes actually. Ooh, they're sizzling. Oh, I fogged up the screen. Oh, they look so good though. Okay, so because I halved these, I just made sure that they are not sticking together when you put them in the oven. And then it's been about 10-15 minutes, so I'm just mixing them around, and I'm going to pop them back in. Okay, the potatoes are all done. They look amazing and they smell so good. I just finished filling the containers. I like these ones also for when I want two sides of things. I also have these square ones or these circle ones that I can use, but I like to have them on separate sides, so I'm just using these containers instead. So I'm just gonna let them cool down before I put the lids on and before I put them into the fridge. But I have some leftovers, so I'm probably gonna partake in that right now. I'm so excited. So because I do have some left, I'll have some with a little bread over here. Other than that, our meal is complete. This is super easy to make, especially if you start the potatoes first, because they obviously take the longest, but this literally takes maybe 15 minutes to make with the chicken and everything. So I just I clean up the chicken, cut it into pieces, throw all the seasoning in, and that's it. It's honestly so easy. It makes for a good meal prep for the week. Also, instead of the potatoes, you can eat this with rice. I just had these potatoes that I wanted to use, so I used those. But this would be really good over rice too. But so I've also never would have tried this meal, so I highly recommend trying it. You can get the tandoori seasoning at any of the like Indian markets or in the Indian aisles of different places. But I don't know, I don't even really prefer Indian food, but this is something that I really like, so I would try it. Anyways, on to the next meal. Okay, next recipe, it is the next week, and this week I am making hamburger helper. It sounds kind of lazy and too easy to be true, but hamburger helper is a really awesome thing to go to because I don't eat red meat, so I actually use ground turkey instead. So I'll just put the ground turkey in with the hamburger helper, and I like to add a vegetable on the side. So it actually makes a really good meal prep, especially when you're in a rush to meal prep, if that makes sense, which I am today. So I'm just gonna throw in the turkey meat and the hamburger helper, and that will be my meal for the week. Okay, so this is the ground turkey I use. You can get the 2% fat if you want, if that works better for you. And then this is the hamburger helper I use. I'm sure many of you know how to make this, but I like the lasagna one. I don't know why, I just like it better. But basically I'm just gonna put in the meat first, and then I'm gonna add a little flavor to it into the pot. I'm just gonna burn it on. And then we'll add this in. Okay, so I like to just throw in a little bit of butter and oil and then just let it brown. So I've browned the meat and added the usual like salt, pepper, cayenne, because I like a little spice, garlic powder and onion powder. So now that the meat is browned, I'm just gonna add 3 cups. It's 3 cups of hot water. So I've put hot water in this little hot water heater. I don't know, whatever you call these things. Okay, there we go, 3 cups of water. And then you add a half a cup of milk. I use almond milk. Doesn't really matter too much. Alright, I use almond milk, so I've added that in there, and it's just easy to mix it all in together. Alright, so I'm going to pour this mixture in. It's going to look like a lot, but the pasta soaks up a lot of water, so it'll be worth it. And this is the packet that comes in the box. You just dump this in and mix it up. Oh, this is hard to do one-handed. There we go. This is also really easy to make just as a weeknight supper. All of these are actually. So we're just gonna mix that in. And then we dump in the pasta. So here's the pasta. Also, it doesn't look like that much pasta, but trust me, it is. And then we're just gonna let this sit covered for a little while. And you'll see the sauce start to thicken really fast. So you just kind of have to watch it. Okay, so now that it's been going for like 10-12 minutes, it's just important to keep an eye on it and mix it so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. So I'm just stirring it around, and then to get some of the water out, I'm going to keep the lid off for a little bit and just let it really thicken up. And then it should be done soon. It smells so good in here. I'm also prepping my salads and my side dishes for my lunch for the week, because I have to have a lunch and a dinner for the whole day for when I'm at my clinical placement, and then I go to class after, so I have to have everything ready. So these are the 2 salads that I use, the Dole kinds. This is the Sunflower Crunch one. I really like the dressing that comes in this one. It has a bunch of little pieces. And then the other one is the pomegranate dressing one. These are my definitely 2 favorites. They're just like slaw-based salads, and they make 2 actually per bag, so it works out really well. And then I have these mini cucumbers, and I cut up 1 per salad, which works out really well. And then I like to add some blue cheese, and this is the blue cheese I use. And then I like to add some scallions and cilantro I get from my restaurant. And then in the second round, when there's no more dressing, I use this dressing afterwards on the second portion of the salad. So I'm going to add some boiled eggs to my salad, which just helps add some protein. A little trick I use is to add baking soda to the water, which helps it when you put it in an ice bath afterwards and help the peel come off. Super, super helpful, and it has worked every single time. So I would just add a little bit of baking soda to the water while it boils, and then when you take it out, you put it in an ice bath and it comes off flawlessly. So I also have added some cucumbers here, some little tomatoes, just to make the salad more complete. This salad came with some of the flax seeds, so I really like having that inside. So I've cut up the egg here, and I like to add some avocado, but I usually just bring the avocado with me so that it doesn't get all brown. But here's what it looks like all put together. It is so satisfying and refreshing to have as a lunch for when I'm at my placement. And it's ready to go. And then I have the dressing that comes with it. And then I have my backup salad, or my second portion salad, with the other dressing. The other salad I'll prepare in a couple days just so it doesn't go bad. So those were 3 recipes that I really love to make. Obviously I have many, many more, but I thought I would just share those 3 with you guys to start with. And if you guys seem to like these videos, I'll continue to do more, because I feel like it is really hard to find good food to make and fast. These recipes are just so good. Like, a couple of them are recipes I would have never tried, and it is good to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. So I highly recommend trying these, and I will link as many things as I can down below. Don't forget to hit the little thumbs up button, subscribe, hit that red button, and the post notifications. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!